How's it going, everybody? Destauch here. And today I was going to throw my hat in the ring and talk about the armor coating fiasco. I was really debating whether or not I should talk about this, but I feel like it needs to be said just because I feel like this is a very important issue that I just want to get it off my chest and just spread my thoughts about it. So, yeah, the color coding system they introduced. Now, when I first heard about this color coding system, well, first of all, if you haven't heard of it, 343 has basically said that they are going to be doing presets for armor colors. So we're no longer going to be able to change the color of our armor in terms of primary and secondary. It's going to be locked to a skin system, something that we've seen in games like Destiny with their shader system, which really sucks. I hate that system, especially for about like how that system is one-time use. At least I think it still is. I haven't played in a while. And as far as I can tell, this system isn't one-time use, but the core like crux of the issue here is that it takes away a fundamental piece of Halo that has been around since Halo 1. I mean, of course in Halo 1 you only had one color, but at least you could choose it. Halo 2 we had primary and secondary, and ever since then it's kind of been the same, and it's been really great. I understand that there's room to improve upon it, but this is not the way to do it. Taking away the customization control from the player is not a great way to promote your game that allegedly has high amounts of customization. I know that 343 is saying, oh, this is going to expand customization to places we've never seen before, but the thing is, even if these armor coatings are more, unique, they really aren't, because these are presets that other people have. You don't have a unique Spartan. In Halo Reach, you could have like hundreds of combinations of, armor, color, and this is about color, of course. But even then, the customization of color was still huge, and really, had your Spartan be unique. And the fact that they're making these presets and the way they're going to give them to you is pretty bad. Now, there was a tweet by Sean W. where he actually found out that some of these skins may be priced at $5. Of course, these skins may not be that price. It might just be a placeholder or something. A lot of companies like to inflate their prices to make their deals look better. But $5 for like the Monarch skin, which is basically the color purple, I mean, that's just absurd. I mean, I gotta buy like Oreos or whatever to get like, skins. Of course, there's going to be avenues to unlock these through gameplay, but I still don't like that. I didn't like it in Halo 5 with the Rex system. While that system isn't the worst loot box system, it still was a loot box system, and I really didn't like it. And having all of this, locked behind monetization just leaves a really bad taste in my mouth. And that's what I really want to get into today. The monetization strategy that they're going for and the press involved with, that, and the negative press, it's really damaging the Halo IP. I really think that if this bad press continues, Halo Infinite is basically dead. That may sound extreme, but we've had less intrusive mechanics in games that have completely killed the hype for those games. Even the Avengers game, before we actually knew it was bad, because, the game did turn out to be pretty bad. But even before, just the way the characters looked, even that tiny controversy really made people angry. And then when all the microtransaction stuff started coming out, people really started to hate the game. And I'm seeing Halo go down a similar path. We're seeing the game not living up to expectations, be it graphically, perhaps functionally as well. We don't have any idea of that yet. And the fact that it's going to be monetized so heavily, it is really turning people off to this game. And this game was supposed to be like the comeback. This was supposed to be Microsoft's system seller. And I'll give Sony one thing. Their system sellers are great. God of War, Spider-Man, all those games are fantastic, and they have basically no microtransactions. Of course, Spider-Man has some DLC in it, but to me, I'm fine with shelling out some money for some DLC where, it's a large piece of content. But Halo doesn't seem to be doing that. In fact, Halo seems to be making people pay $60 for a game that doesn't even technically come with the multiplayer, because the multiplayer is free. So even if you pay $60, you still have to opt into a free-to-play monetized multiplayer environment, which, you know, I really don't like. The fact that there's no option for us to go without the monetization if we buy the $60 game, it's really stupid. Should the game even be $60 if it's only the campaign at this point? I mean, shouldn't it be something more like $40? But yeah, this whole monetization that I'm seeing, it's killing the game, and people are really up in arms. I mean, if you go to the Halo subreddit, or any live stream that 343 hosts, it's always people spamming, you know, go back to the old system. And, you know, typically I would be like, alright guys, calm down, we haven't seen the system in action. But the failure of 343 to communicate what the system is and what they've given to us really puts a bad taste in my mouth, and I really do think that this system isn't going to be beneficial, because we all remember how they tried to implement rec packs into Halo 5 and how they announced that with Mr. Chief introducing it and being very condescending. It seems like 343 really has this horrible PR team. I have no idea what they're doing, but they really need to be more communicative with us, and they need to get these things across more clearly, because that waypoint post that explained all of this, it did not do its job. It still had people asking questions, like they introduced this idea that there'd be 7 layers to it of the customization, and at first I was like, hey, that sounds kind of cool. If we don't got primary and secondary, perhaps every skin has its own 7-layer system that we can customize. But that system is only reserved to developers. So why even tell us that? Like, it's just bad communication. 343 needs to work on that, and they need to work on their management. Just recently I heard that Chris Lee left. That's another topic, but it seems like things are in a rut at 343, and they really need to get it together, because if this bad PR continues, this series might just be dead. Especially when it's trying to be a live service game and it already has all these issues. I have very low expectations for this game now. I hope that they can pull through. I hope that their team can come together and make something great. But just the whole monetized strategy that they're doing is really putting a bad taste in my mouth. But anyways, this was Destauch. What do you guys think of this issue? Do you think it's overblown, or do you agree with it? Do you think that these monetization strategies should be reconsidered, and perhaps there should be a new implementation of customization in Halo Infinite? I'd love to hear what you think. And remember, if you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you really liked it, try subscribing. This was Destauch, and I'll see you in the next one. Destauch out.